Cloud. Perfect. So whenever you're ready, feel free to make your way on down. We'll start on our backs and kind of start to drop into your body, stretch, wiggle, move around any way that would feel good to you. Start to transition your attention inwards, kind of get a general sense of how your body is feeling this morning. Maybe draw the knees in, roll around a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to grab just one dumbbell and we're going to kind of take some of our lat pullover breathing that we work on. We're going to take it up a notch and actually play around with some variations where the legs are straight instead of knees bent, feet flat. But a couple of caveats. If you do this straight leg thing and your low back, like it's going to be off the mat, like there's no doubt about it. But if it's like so far off the mat that it's actually causing like discomfort or even pain, then grab a towel or something to put under you, or just stick with the knees bent. And you can basically do exactly what we're going to do with our usual feet flat. Okay. So only do this if it genuinely feels like comfortable or okay for your body. Okay. From there, so you can do legs long, knees bent, or legs long with a towel roll behind your low back. Okay. And then you're going to grab your dumbbell and we're going to hold it up here. Okay. And then this is a little different. So you're going to go ahead and reach your arms all the way back, which I usually, when we do this exercise, I usually say, don't go all the way back. We don't want the rib cage to pop up off the floor. Okay. But in this case, we're going for some serious extension here. So I'm going to say, okay, let your arms go all the way behind you. Okay. And I'm actually have my dumbbell all the way down on the ground and my rib cage is popping up off the floor. So it's doing exactly what I'm usually cueing you to try to pull yourself out of. Okay. And then from here, okay, you're going to do a breath in and try to fill up your rib cage 360 degrees. You're going to exhale and lift your dumbbell a tiny bit off the ground with soft elbows and gently press your rib cage into the ground. Okay. So we inhale, the arms come down. You're letting your body actually relax. Like, see if you can do a very relaxed inhale. Let the belly expand, let the pelvic floor relax, like chilling, right? Then exhale, pick the dumbbell up, and you're trying to get these front ribs to pull in and together. So this is our typical kind of cue, right? Push your rib cage into the ground. Arms go back, relax on the ground, breathe in. Exhale, rib cage into the ground. So see if you can keep going, maybe 5 or 6 more. Make sure that when you're lifting your dumbbell and you're pushing your rib cage down, you're not pushing your low back or just squeezing your butt or tucking your pelvis. So this isn't coming from the pelvis. The pelvis isn't actually moving. It's all coming from the rib cage pushing into the ground as the arms come up a little bit. So you inhale, go into some extension, let the front ribs open. Exhale, press the rib cage into the ground. I can also do this exact same thing with no dumbbell. Inhale, my arms, my fingertips touch the floor. Exhale, push my rib cage into the ground. So if it's bothering your shoulders or feels like too much load, do it without the dumbbell. Okay. But now we're going to progress it. Okay. And you, like, again, you could do it with your knees bent, feet flat. It just won't feel like as much extension, but I can do it like this as well. Okay. So we're kind of coming at this from the reverse. We usually start the arms forward and then reach back without lifting. Now you're going full blown extension with the arms back and then finding that nice rib cage pulled back position. Okay. From here, the next time that you come forward with the dumbbell, you're going to pull it forward on your exhale. Your rib cage is pushing into the ground. You're going to now try to hover one leg or one foot off the ground. Okay. Then arms go back, leg comes down, breathe in, exhale, arms come forward, rib cage pushes into the ground, other leg lifts for a hover. See how that feels. Only lift it to a hover. Good. Leg comes down, arm goes back. Go back and forth like that a few times, lifting the leg as the arms come forward, see how that feels. Okay. If it starts to feel like too much work, like my shoulders are starting to burn, right? If it starts to feel like too much, you do a few reps without your dumbbell, let the shoulders relax. Okay. Because we have a few more variations to play with. So the next one, okay, you're going to bring the arms forward, rib cage down, and then see if you can lift your head a millimeter off the floor. See what that feels like. And then you bring the head down, the arms full. That's the good thing. The arms fully relax. You can totally chill out on the breath in, and then exhale, arms forward, a little bit of a head lift. I'm not really tucking my chin too much. My gaze is pretty much up at the ceiling. So try that one or two more times where you lift the head, and then the full one, okay? You'll do arms come up, rib cage pushes into the ground. You're gonna lift the head, lift one leg, and then see if you can lift the other. Really hard. Don't have to lift all three things, head and both legs, but give it a whirl if you want. And then relax back down on the ground. Okay. And I do like the arms first, then the head, then one leg, then the other, right? But you don't have to do all three. You can play around with just the legs or just the head, right? If I was here, this is a lot easier, but it still works your abs and the same positional stuff we're working on. So I could also do this exact same thing with my knees bent, feet flat, arms hover, head lifts, both feet hover. Lots of great core work here, lat work, rib cage pushing into ground. Really great variation too to do it like that. Okay. We went right for the hard one with those legs long. Okay. So try two or three more, just holding whichever one works and then relaxing. You're holding for maybe 2, 3 calm breaths. So head lifts, arms lift, feet lift, 2 or 3 breaths and relax. Okay. And then we'll come out of that position. We'll take the feet as wide as your mat. We'll open the arms to a T. We'll do some windshield wipers here. So knees look one way, head and eyes look the other way. Just kind of let that work go. Super good. Okay. Grab your same dumbbell. From there, we're going to do a little bit of a rotational chest press, and we're going to incorporate some upper back movement as well, a little bit of upper back, like flexion and extension. So stick your dumbbell in your left hand, and it's going to be the arm part is going to be like a chest press like this. I just want to mention you can have your palm like I have mine now facing away from me, or I can have my palm facing in towards my body. So we can go like straight on or a neutral grip like this. Okay, whatever feels best. We're looking for a pec stretch though, so keep that in mind. You're going to bring your knees over your hips and your right arm out to the side, and you're going to just let your legs go all the way to the right, which we do fairly often. Okay, and when you're here, I want you to try to find as much length through your left pec as you can. I'm actually like borderline hovering my left elbow off the ground, and I'm trying to shift my left knee as far away from my left shoulder as I can. So how much length can you get through your left side? We're going to think of this as extension. Okay. Now you're going to pull yourself up to center. We're going to do some flexion through the rib cage to the upper back here. Excuse me. So I'm protracting my left shoulder off the ground. I'm lifting my head, rounding my upper back. Okay. Then I'm going to bring my head down. I'm going to rotate, right? My rib cage is turning left. My knees are going right. We're thinking this as a little extension. Okay. And then I'm going to come to center. So similar. We've done this one a million different ways. This one, we're just kind of focusing on this upper back piece. You're lengthening, opening, like stretching, we'll say here, and then kind of contracting, lifting, rounding through the upper back as you press up. Open, find that nice stretch, and then pull yourself and round. Okay, we'll get one more. Perfect. Relax. Maybe gently rock the head from side to side. If you feel the front of the neck working, that's good. We want those front neck flexors to be strong. So, okay. But if it's like in the back of your neck, side of the neck, or just really painful, you could do the whole thing without lifting the head too. Okay. So dumbbell goes up in the right hand, knees are over hips. So we're going to do that lengthened kind of extended position first. So my elbow comes down, my knees are going to the left. Okay. My sternum is trying to face the ceiling. How much length can I get through my right side? I'm going to come through center, press up, lift the head, round through the upper back of it. Okay. Extend, and then press it up. Rotate, shift the left knee, or sorry, right knee ahead of the left knee, or just think about getting lots of length through the right side and press it up. Reach your right elbow to the right. So you're actively thinking about lengthening through that right chest wall, the right pec muscle, the right side body. Good. And then you're kind of shortening everything, feeling the abs kind of contract as you lift and press, rounding through the upper back as you come to center. We'll do one more. Nice. Okay. So we got some good rotation. We got some good core work. We're going to switch to some glute and hamstring stuff. So grab your yoga block. Let's put it under the right foot. Yoga block under the right foot. We'll keep the left foot on the ground just for the kind of a little bit of a warm up, and then we'll take it off. So as much of your foot on your block as possible. If anything's dangling off, it's the toes. We're pushing the feet down through the blocks to bridge the hips up. Okay. We're going to find the inner edges of the feet slightly. So I want you to think like just really in touch with your big toe mound and your inner heel. It's not dramatic, but you're pushing through those areas, and then you're pushing your hips up nice and high. We're going to come down and then press the hips up. Okay. So maybe 6, 8, 10 bridges here, depending on how fast or slow you're going, but you're staying connected to the inner edge of the feet pretty much the whole time. So that's more like medial hamstring, inner thigh, just up and down like that. Good. Perfect. Okay. Once we're good with that, you can go. One other actually thing to mention, your block. You don't necessarily want the block too close, but you don't want it too far away from you. You want to see like pretty equal distribution of load between hamstring and glute. So if it's way too far, you're only going to feel hamstring. If it's too close, you might feel only glute. So just keep that in mind, unless you purposely wanted to feel one more than the other for whatever reason. Okay. But then we're going to go hips up, left knee comes over left hip. Okay. So we're going to play around a little here. You're going to push your hips up a little higher and stay on the inner edge of your right foot. And then you're going to come down only halfway and find the outer edge of the foot. Okay. Press the hips up, inner edge, come down only halfway, outer edge. Now, so it's a half. You're not ever going all the way down. Your glute is in kind of a lengthened position actually at the bottom of this. And when you go to the outer edge of your heel at the bottom, that doesn't like, don't let your big toe or your big toe mound lift off your yoga block. Okay. So you're pushing through your big toe mound. But then when you come halfway down, you still have contact with that. You're just kind of finding the outer heel. Your knee goes out a little. Your knee comes in a little as you push up. And then your knee goes out a little as you come halfway down. Do one more like that. And then just take a little rest for a second. And then we're going to reverse it and see how that feels to you. So go all still same leg, same right leg, all the things, but push through the right foot, lift the hips. Okay. So you're at the top, find the outer edge now, but don't lose your big toe mound. So it's subtle. It's not a big, dramatic movement. Okay. And then you come down halfway, find the inner edge of the foot. So push through the foot, find the outer edge at the top, and then find the inner edge at the halfway mark. I'm not actually bringing my hips all the way down, and just see what you feel. It's going to light up different parts of the hamstring and glute quite a bit. No joke. Okay, relax for a second. Okay, maybe gently kind of rub behind the back of this leg, kick the heel back there. And then we're going to do one more. We're going to keep playing around with this pelvis bridging external, internal rotation we've been doing. So we'll start with the hips up at the top of the bridge. You'll extend your left leg out in front of you. Okay. So as my pelvis turns all the way to the left, I bring my hips towards the floor. My left glute just grazes the ground. And then I'm going to push a hole through my yoga block to lift my hips up and slightly turn the pelvis into the right. We're going to come down. Left glute just touches the floor slightly. Push through the yoga block to lift those hips up and turn in slightly. Let's just focus on the center of the right heel. So don't even worry about inner heel, inner foot, outer foot. If you keep your body weight in the center of your heel, that doesn't mean you don't have some weight in the ball of the foot, but as far as inner heel versus outer heel, just stay in the center of the heel the whole time. When the hips come down and the hips come up, you'll be good. Okay, so I turn out and then I come up and turn in and take a rest. Yeah, so if you're even just getting a couple really good quality reps there should be adequate. Okay. And then let's just because it'll feel nice, you can interlace your hands behind your right leg. Okay. And then pull your leg to your chest and push your leg into your hands. Like find tension both directions. Okay. And then you're going to just extend and rebend without letting the leg move as you extend. Okay. So mine doesn't get all the way straight. If I imply those tensions, pushing into my hands and my hands pulling my leg into me, my knee doesn't straighten. If I want, I could lengthen my left leg long. This is actually like kind of a nice active hamstring stretch variation that I really like. But you could just hover your left leg off the ground if you wanted. It kind of lengthens through that left front of the left hip and hip flexor there. Good. Okay, great. And then we're going to do all that on the other side and then we'll change shape. So foot's going to go on block, left foot's going to go on block. First, we're just pushing through the feet, lifting the hips up and coming all the way down. We did all the way up, all the way down for this first one. And we actually focused on the inner edges of the feet. So that's warming up more like inner thigh, medial hamstring, right? And again, you're not lifting the outer edges of your feet, but you're just bringing your awareness and your foot pressure to inner heel, big toe mound. Good. Just kind of warming up the offset position, driving through the feet. I'm still kind of rolling my hips up, kind of warming my spine up as well. I'm not necessarily just like thrusting up as one unit. I'm kind of rolling. Good. Okay, now we are going to go hips up. Right knee comes over right hip. We did hips up at the top, inner heel, and then halfway down, outer heel. All the way up, inner, halfway down, outer. But we never lost contact with big toe and big toe mound, even when we go halfway down, right? And you're not bringing your hips all the way to the floor. Okay. So you press them up, halfway down. Press them up, halfway down. Inner at the top, slight movement of your knee out as you come halfway down. See what that feels like? Great. Okay, then you're gonna go, we're switching that up, go all the way to the top, outer heel, and then halfway down, inner heel. All the way up, find the outer, halfway down, find the inner. Good. Staying aware of what's happening in your core. A lot of work. If you needed to, I could bring the ball of my right foot to the ground just to take a little load out of my left leg. Still a great variation, especially if you feel like you're not getting a lot out of it because it's so hard. Then just bring your tiptoe to the floor and it'll be better. Okay. So now relax for a sec. Maybe rub behind that left leg, kick the heel, and we'll do our pelvis internal external rotations. So you'll go all the way up, bridging those hips up to the top. You'll extend the right leg. Okay. We're going to turn the whole pelvis to the right and come down and then push a hole through the yoga block as you turn the pelvis to the left and come up. Okay. So we're just now focusing on keeping our body weight in the center of the left heel. Left knee stays over left heel. The knee isn't moving in or out, which will be tempting. Okay. So as you come down, don't let your knee come with you. As you come up, keep your knee over the center of that heel. Good. Awesome job. Yeah, brutal. Okay, you're gonna interlace the hands behind the left hamstring. Okay, you can pull your leg into your chest, push your leg into your hands. You can straighten and rebend. Look for that stretch. If you want, you could extend the right leg. Good. Awesome. Okay. And then we'll roll over, come onto our side, and we'll do a little bit of a side plank variation. So, um, don't need anything for this. We won't use any weights. We're going to just really work on opening and closing the sides of the body. So, if you're on your right forearm, I'll mirror you. I'll come on my left. I'm going to stack my knees here. Okay. And I'm on either flat palm or pinky side edge. Let's take this hand and let it rest on the side of my rib cage. I'm going to intentionally let my rib cage move towards the ground and look for a stretch through that side. Okay. From there, we're going to go ahead and lift the side body, lift the hips. Okay. Extend this leg, reach this arm. Okay. And I'm reaching my arm kind of alongside my ear, maybe a little bit in front, pulling my ribs back, and I'm kind of reaching my leg behind me. So now at this part, I want you to think, how open can I get my left side body? How close can I get my right side body? Okay. And then we're going to come down, and I'm intentionally letting my bottom side lengthen towards the floor. Okay. Then I lift it away from the floor, lift up, reach my leg back. I'm kind of lifting my leg up a little too, just get a little more glute. Try to push yourself away from the ground a little more and then come back down. So it's slow, controlled. When you come down, you're lengthening this side. Let it move towards the ground. Okay. And then you come up, lift, open, shorten this side now, open the top side, lift your leg, push your legs apart away from each other, and then slowly come down, open, lengthen, close it, lift, and relax. Okay, great. And then we'll do a couple of windshield wipers, back and forth with the knees. We'll rotate and reach, rotate and reach, various angles. Just get a little more movement through the spine. Perfect. And then we'll come on to the other side. So now you're on your left, stacking the knees. So when you're at the bottom, you could bring this right hand along the side ribs. You're going to lengthen these side ribs into the hand. It should actually feel like a little bit of a stretch there, right? So don't just turn towards the floor like this. Try to actually let them fall into the hand and lengthen. Yeah. Okay. From there, you do the opposite. Pull away from the ground, shorten that side, lift the hips, take the top leg back, up the top arm, big reach. How much length and openness can you get through this right side body? And then we're coming down. We're going pretty slow because I really want you to feel this. This shoulder, this is your left shoulder, gets even further from your ear as you lengthen. And then I shorten that side, lift, try to pull the ground apart with the legs, meaning I'm pushing my bottom knee further down into the ground. I'm lifting my top leg up. So you get that nice abduction, kind of like this pulling the pelvis apart sensation. Lengthen the bottom side, shorten the bottom side, lift up, big reach, open this right side. We'll get one more. Great job. And then we'll head into tabletop. Okay. So make sure you just have good knee padding and you can spread your palms, bring them under the shoulders, knees under hips. Okay, great. And then a few times we're just rocking the hips straight back and then rocking forward. So think of your sits bones staying a little bit lifted as you rock back. Think of your rib cage not sinking towards the floor, but pushing up towards the floor. Think of your elbows staying on the straighter side, and then you're just rocking back and forth here, trying not to let anything come out of position. Okay, don't let the head droop. Don't let the elbows bend. Don't let the rib cage shift towards the floor. Don't round the low back. Or notice which one of those is happening and then try to adjust. Perfect. Okay. From here, straighten your right leg off the ground, or actually bring it to the ground first. So bring your right toes to the floor. Yep. And straight behind you. Bring your left foot inside. So bring your left foot towards your right knee, but try to like bring it even past your knee so it comes in. Okay, good. And then from there, we're going to lift the right foot. Whoops, my couch is in the way. You're going to lift your right foot and you're literally just going to rock your hips back and forth here. So the same exact motion we just did, although now this left hip is in some really good external rotation. Okay, if I wanted to, I could come down onto my forearms. I get kind of even more of a stretch on my forearms, but I could do forearms or palms. And I'm shifting into this left hip. So it's a little to the left and a little back, like slash play around with your exact angle. So if you go straight back, maybe you get a more of a stretch. If you have to shift a little to the left, maybe that gives you a little more stretch, right? But you're just sitting into that left glute. Perfect. From there, you can bring your right foot back to the ground, and all you're going to do is take your left foot and now try to bring it outside your left knee and then bring it, sorry, yeah, outside your left knee. That was correct. And then try to bring it back inside your left knee and play with that a few times. The foot goes outside, that puts your hip in internal rotation, and then try to bring it inside, and you play with that a few times. We're not moving the side body. We're not moving the spine. We're intentionally attempting, trying to only move the left hip here. The foot goes inside, outside, and it will actually start to light up some like muscles deep in your left hip and glute. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, from there, your left foot can just go directly behind your left knee now, like you're used to. And you're going to pick your right foot up and we're going to do our little hip airplanes like this. So my whole pelvis turns to the right. It turns away from my left leg. And then my whole pelvis turns down towards my left leg. Whole pelvis turns open. Whole pelvis closes. I could, if I did this on my forearms, like I really could, but when I turn it, I might need to like, when I turn it open, I might need to like lift my right elbow as I turn open and turn close. Yeah, it feels good on the forearms too. So either way, it'll work. And then this should really light up that left glute. Okay, so we did this in the bridge. Obviously, it looked different and felt different probably, but it's the same. Pelvis turns away from left femur, pelvis turns towards. Good. And then from there, go ahead, step the right foot forward in between the hands. Make sure you have really good knee padding for your left knee. And then we're just going to do kind of simple swinging chops. So, dumbbell in both hands. We're going to go outside the right hip. So it's just literally right outside my right hip. Okay. And I'm going to swing my hips back and forward. So my hips swing back and forward. My dumbbell goes outside the hip and then to the shoulder. So just going hip to shoulder. It's not a huge range of motion, but let it try to like smoothen it out. Try to let it be as fluid as you can. This is actually not the easiest position to hinge, right? Because often this hip is really hiked up. You might have to drop the hip a little. You might need to let it not be a huge motion at the hips or the ribs, right? Really, in order for it to feel fluid. It's just not that big of a motion, but you're just swinging that dumbbell, kind of chopping it, hips back, hips forward, hips back, hips forward. Perfect. Okay. And then we'll come back down onto the hands. So now left foot goes straight back. I would start with it on the ground, and then right foot goes like in, meaning right foot goes to the left. Okay, so it goes past your left knee. And then once you're good from there, you're going to pick your left foot up and you're just rocking your hips back and forth, looking around for a stretch through that right glute. I say looking your ground because it might take a second, or you might have felt it more on the other side, or you might feel it more immediate on this side. You might have to play around with the angle a little bit, go a little right or further back. You may need to play around with the exact location of your right foot and bring it more in. Like I just kind of discovered that mine wasn't far enough across. So don't be afraid to play around with the exact angles of this one. And you're literally just rocking your body back and forth, looking for some nice lengthening stretch through that right glute and hip. Good. Nice job. Then you bring the left foot to the ground, and we're literally just moving the right foot out and in. Nothing else moves. So try not to move the spine. Try not to side bend. Like we're not opening and closing the side body like we did in the plank. It's just the foot. Just the foot goes in and outside of the knee. When it goes in, that's putting our hip in external rotation. When it goes out, it puts the hip in internal rotation. See how it feels. You might notice it feels different than the other side, or you have less range in one of these. Like it doesn't go very far, like mine doesn't go very far out, but it goes pretty far in, something like that. And it should be lighting up the musculature in that glute and hip. And you could do this on the forearms or the palms, whichever you like better. And then same thing for the next one. Bring your right foot in line with your knee. We're going to turn that whole pelvis away from the right leg and then whole pelvis towards, right? So your hip, knee, and foot all turn out, but it's not just the hip, it's the whole pelvis, right? And then whole pelvis turns in and down, okay? So hip, knee, and foot, but also entire pelvis. Push a hole through the ground with your right knee, as long as you have decent knee padding, because that will also help you connect to that right glute. Just thinking about driving the knee into the ground, that actually helps a lot. If you think about driving the knee into the ground as you open and turn away from the leg, it will really light up. Yeah. And then if you're on the forearms, this is kind of what I meant. As I turn away, I kind of straighten my left elbow. Yeah. You might just like it better on the forearms. I don't know. Or you might like it better on the palms. It's going to be individual. Okay. And then you're going to step the left foot forward, grab your dumbbell, and we'll do our hopefully fluid swinging chops. So outside the left hip, and that's when you kind of send those hips back and then you just chop it up to the right. But you kind of end up making it a swing. Hips back, hips forward. Watch out for just nose diving. Okay. Try to actually kind of move the hips backwards and then forwards. Back. It's like a hinge. Yep. And then you're kind of swinging your dumbbell. Good. So it kind of opens the back of the left glute as you go back, but then it opens the front of the right hip and quad hip flexor as you come forward. Plus, we get that nice rib cage rotation. Okay, great job. So now come back to table, spread the palms, tuck the toes, send the hips up and back, downward dog. Imagine someone wrapped their hands around your hips and pulled you back. So how much length can you get through your spine here? That's what we're going for. You can shake the head yes and no. And then we're going to walk our feet to our hands at the top of the mat. So try to think of spreading the toes and really bending your knees and spreading your feet out as much as you can. Like how much surface area and space on your mat can your feet take up? Then you're going to round the spine. Let's take one dumbbell with us and we're going to roll all the way up to stand. Take your time. Take your time. Try to make it as rounded as you can. Bring your spine into as much flexion as possible and then come all the way up. All right. So connect with your feet one more time. Think of like actually like almost like if you lifted your 10 toes, right? That creates some tension in the front of the ankles, the tops of the feet. So then when you bring your toes back down, try to almost maintain some of that connection and tension, but don't keep them lifted. You can also think about like kind of how we do with the palms. I say find the inner edge of the hand, find the outer edge. You kind of want to try to do that with your whole foot. So find the outer edge of the foot, but then find the big toe and big toe mound without losing the outer edge. So you're really connecting to your feet on the mat. Okay. And then you got your dumbbell in both hands. We're going to take an inhale. We're going to exhale, reach, reach it up. Okay. Then we're standing, but we're going to play a little bit here with what we did in the very beginning. So I actually want you to let your arms kind of go behind you a little, and like open your front of your body, open your rib cage a little. Take an inhale here. Exhale, pull the dumbbell forward as your ribs pull back a little. So it's not going to be as hard on the abs at all as what we did on the ground, but kind of open. You're in extension. The ribs are a little flared forward. And then exhale as the dumbbell comes forward and your ribs pull back. We'll do one more. Ribs open and go forward. And then dumbbell comes forward, ribs pull back. Good. And then we'll just do our little side body stretch to the right, side body stretch to the left. Okay. From here, bend your knees forward. If you're able to, keep your dumbbell in front of you as you send your hips into your hinge. That's not that easy. Lift the collarbones, lift the sits bones, and then pull your dumbbell to your chest. Okay. So what we're going to do here, you're going to tuck your pelvis around your upper back and pull your dumbbell into you and squat down a little bit. So bend the knees, squat down, round your spine. Don't be afraid. Round, round, round the spine. Now you're going to reach your dumbbell forward slowly as you lift your sits bones, lift your collarbones, and pull your knees straight back. So you're lengthening the glutes and the hams. Then you're going to pull the dumbbell in, round the spine, sit down. You're in more of a squat, rounded ball-like position. Now you reach forward. Lift the sits bones, lift the collarbones, pull those knees back. If it's too much with the dumbbell, we're going to get two more. You can just go without the dumbbell, round the spine here and squatting down, reach it forward, lift the sits bones, lift the collarbones, pull the knees back. One more, squatting, rounding, and then hinging, extending, and then you can just bring the arms down and stand all the way up and then swirl it out. Okay, so there's lots of spinal movement there mixed with quad when we squatted, glute and ham when we hinged, some core work, shoulder work. There's a lot of things happening. Okay, we're going to do one we haven't done in a little while, but we'll stick with just our one dumbbell, and we're going to go right foot in front, left foot in back. And we're going to be doing a bicep curl down into a bit of a lunge. Okay. So I'm going to just angle myself so you can see, but right foot forward, left foot back. Okay. You're going to go kind of slow and you're going to bicep curl and sit down into your right glute. As you sit, lift your right heel off the ground. So we're here. Okay. Then you're going to be more upright and shift your right knee forward. Press your dumbbell up. Bring your dumbbell back to your shoulder. Hinge the hips back. And then we're going to stand all the way up and you can put your heel back on the ground. Okay. So, and then, whoops, we forgot to uncurl. You can uncurl the dumbbell. So it's bicep curl. I'm lunging, but it's a little hingy. My heel comes up. Okay. Then I'm going to make myself more upright. Press. Okay. Come back to my hinge. Okay. And then I'm going to uncurl, stand, and bring the heel down. Okay. And we just have the dumbbell in the right hand. So we'll go again. It's like a hingy lunge down. Heel is lifting. Of course, heel lifting is always optional. Then knee forward, press it up. Lots of quad. Come back to the hingy lunge. Dumbbell comes back down, and then drop the heel as you uncurl the dumbbell. Or keep your heel down the entire time. That's fine too. So one more. Curl, hingy lunge. Knees forward. Less hinge. Drive the dumbbell up. Come back where you started. Uncurl as we stand. And then swirl it out and relax. Okay. And then stick the dumbbell in the left hand. Left foot forward. Right foot back. And we'll do the other side. So we're going to go bicep curl, sitting down relatively slow into that hingy lunge. I can lift my left heel if I want. Okay, you're going to drive the knees forward a bit, press it up, come back if possible. If you did lift the heel, it's still lifted, right? And then you stand, heel comes down, uncurl. Okay, so it's curl, sit down, optional heel lift, upright, press it up, come back where you started, slow uncurl. Hingy, a lot more quad, knee forward, come back to the hingy part, and stand. Okay, let's get one more. Great job. Okay, swirl it out. And then one more thing here. So we did those kind of swinging chops in a kneeling position. We're going to have a couple options for standing up. So option one would probably be the simplest, would be back to right foot forward, left foot back, softening both knees, starting outside that right hip. Okay, very similar to what we did on the ground. You're just going to swing like this. So I'm here, right? So hips back, dumbbell to shoulder, right hip, left shoulder. My knees are bent, right? But then it's all in my hips. So it's a very hingy, driving the hips back. And I'm just really focusing on going hip to shoulder, hip to shoulder. Okay. Now, if I want to make it a little more challenging, would be to take my step forward, step back, step forward, right? Step back, step forward. If I want to jump today, I can go hinge, switch my feet, hinge, switch my feet. So I kind of sit my hips back and I jump up. Sit my hips back, jump up. Good. So any of those options, right? Either just swing, swing and step, or switch my feet. Hip to shoulder. Okay. Relax for a sec. And we'll do the other side. So left foot forward, right foot back, soft knees. So option one is outside the hip to opposite shoulder, nice and fluid. Option two, step it forward, step it back, keep the sits bones lifted. Option three, switch the feet. Drop down, switch the feet. So we don't do this that often where we jump into a hinge. So that might be a little unfamiliar. We jump a lot into a lunge, right? But we don't often jump to a hinge. So that might be a little different. Okay. So maybe a couple more, whichever one you like. Perfect. Okay, we'll look up, look down, round the spine, roll down, lose our dumbbell, plant the palms, step it all the way back, and we're gonna lower all the way down onto our front. Make your nice pillow for your forehead. Bend the knees, gently sway the legs side to side. Take a few moments, let your whole body be heavy and settled. Use slow breaths. Do you want to throw in a couple of ankle circles here? That can be really nice. We'll do both directions. Okay. And then we're just going to do a little bit of upper back work. So with this stuff, it's like if you feel some low back, it's okay, but you want to also feel the upper back. Okay. So you're going to take your arms in this like goalpost position, 90-degree elbow, right? We're going to just keep the feet on the ground and try to think of lifting with your low trap. So like bra strap area around there is where you want to lift with, keeping the shoulders wide and away from the ears. And you want to try to think of like your elbows going down towards the ground and your hands coming up. Yep. And we're going to hold. So get a good exhale, get kind of a firm core. Keep lifting with that upper back. Try not to squeeze your butt too much or anything like that. And you're literally just turning your head to the left, turning your head to the right, trying not to move anything else. So turn and look at your left arm, turn and look at your right arm, and keep moving your hands up towards the ceiling, your elbows towards the floor, trying to lift your upper body. So we're in a lot of external rotation at the shoulder. Hopefully it feels kind of good in the neck, or interesting at least. And then take a rest. So then you can make your pillow for the forehead. You can kind of shake out the hips. Okay, we're going to do one we played with the other day. So tops of feet down, your head and your hands are glued together. So they're one unit that they move together and they don't come apart. You're going to use those same low traps, mid back muscles is what I'm trying to say, and lift your upper body. But once you're up, let your head be heavy in your hands. So really it's not a neck exercise. Your head is heavy in the hands and you're using those back muscles to lift up. And then you're just doing a little side bend to the right and a little side bend to the left. So we just don't do this that much. So it might be a little different for your brain to figure out, but it's not like going to be that crazy hard. But, you know, if your back muscles aren't used to it, then maybe it will be. But you're going to think of your right elbow moving towards your right hip and then your left elbow moving towards your left hip. Yeah. Once we hold it for a while, it starts to get tiring, but good for the back muscles. Come to center, reach the arms forward like you're reaching for something. Okay. And then spin your palms, bring your arms all the way behind you. I'm keeping my elbows soft and I'm pushing my palms together, but I'm not trying to touch my hands. And then I'm just going to swim my arms forward. And we'll just do that a few times, like literally like we're taking a swim. And I'm also trying to lift my upper back as I do this. And if I want, I could play with turning my head. Like every time my arms come forward, I turn it left. Every time my arms go back, I turn it right, that kind of thing. So you're still getting some of that head and neck movement. Great job. One more time, we'll make a pillow for the forehead. Bend the knees, gently sway the legs side to side. Super good. Take the palms next to the chest. We're going to knee push up all the way back up to tabletop. Maybe just kind of shift your hips side to side a few times or rock forward and back. From here, we're going to go ahead into a downward dog and walk the feet and hands together. We're just going to round the spine, roll up. We got one more kind of active thing, and then we'll wind it down. But we'll do it's actually going to be like a row with a rear foot elevated split squat. So you can grab your dumbbell and you can also grab your foam roller for a little bit of balance help. You don't absolutely need the foam roller, but I just want to show you this variation. And then let me make sure that I tell you the correct arm and leg. Okay, so we're going to do same arm, same leg. So we've been doing our right side first. So We'll do right leg forward, dumbbell in the right hand. Left foot will go back behind you. And if you don't have something to elevate it on, not a big deal. You could just put it on the floor. Okay. So right foot on the ground, dumbbell in the right hand. You don't want to be too close. You don't want to be too far away, but you don't want to be like this happens when people are so far and then they like can't bend their back knee. So I want you to be able to figure out either your back toes are tucked or untucked, but your back knee can bend towards the ground. Okay. So you're going to go down to the bottom. Okay. And then if you don't need to hold on, you're going to reach with your left, row with your right, come out of it. Yep. And then stand all the way up. If you do need to hold on, you can just go down, just do one row and then stand up. Okay. So we're going to go down, row right, reach left if you can, and then stand. Okay. If you are good with that, stick with that. If you want to make it a little more challenging, we're going to go down. Okay. You're going to row and reach, and then you're going to rotate away from your standing leg at the bottom, come back down, and then stand up. So that just incorporates our rotation away from standing leg we've been doing. So that one is going down, row and reach, and then you're just turning. Look, I'm just turning my pelvis away from that leg. You don't have to do this one if it's like too complicated. So don't worry about it. Otherwise, you're just going down, row and reach, and then push through the ground, right? And if you want to hold on to something, you totally can. Okay. And then we'll shake out that side. And then we'll do the other side. So dumbbell in the left foot on the ground, right foot back. So you go down to the lunge first, then you're going to do your row. Okay. And then you would stand up, right? If you're doing that variation. If you want, you can go down, row and reach. And then I'm at the bottom and I turn away from my left leg. I turn towards my left leg and then I stand up. Okay. Down, row, reach, rotate away, rotate towards, stand up. Great job. So maybe one or two more. Awesome. And then shake out your leg. Cool. Okay. And then we'll look up, look down, round the spine. We're going to roll it down. Okay. You can step back to your high plank and drop your knees down to your mat. We'll do a few sit and shifts. So you can either sit your hips all the way back towards your heels here, or you can keep them forward, either one. And you're going to shift your hips over to the left, big side body stretch as you reach your left arm to the right. And then you go to the other side. So we're really just looking for like a nice feel good side body stretch. And if it doesn't feel good in your ankles or your knees, right, you just stay forward and you go here. And then feel free to linger any areas that feel like, oh, okay, this angle feels really good in my side body or deep in my glute or my arm or my shoulder. Like, feel free to hang out there and take some breaths. It is helpful for this if you pull your rib cage back a little. If you're opening too much, it's possible you don't get as much of a stretch through the side body and lat, but you can play around with it. Okay. And then you can swing your legs out around in front. And we're going to give the legs a really nice shake. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs. You can shake out the whole body. Let all that work and efforting go and let go of anything else you need to release. Perfect. And then we'll go for a couple of rock and rolls. So let's do the crossbody ones because we did this, we did a lot of hip to shoulder, but For these, it's more of like shoulder to hip as you come up, but same trajectory. So dumbbells at the left shoulder. We're gonna round the spine. Okay, you're gonna roll it back, and then right as you're coming up, you chop it outside your right hip. Or I really like cross the word. I don't know if it's a cross or a chop, but either way, you're crossing the dumbbell over to that right hip as you come up. And if you want, you could play a little with the spinal flexion and extension, which we did a bunch of variations of this today. But you would round as you roll back. And then as you come up, lift your collarbones, not your chin, your collarbones. Those are two different spots. Okay. So you could lift the collarbones as you're up and then round the upper back as you go back. Right. And then play around, switch sides. So now you'd go right shoulder rounded, left hip as you come up, right shoulder rounded to left hip. See how that feels. And then we're going to come all the way down onto our backs. We'll re-arrive here and take a moment once you get on your back and just let your body be super heavy. Relax the face, the neck, the head, the jaw. Maybe stretch out the face a little bit. You can kind of scrunch it together, then stretch it out. Maybe squeeze the hands and then relax tension in the hands a few times. Sometimes you need like the contrast, like the squeeze to then get the relaxing part. Okay. And then just invite your body to get a little heavier, and you're sensing it on the ground, the back of the head, back to the shoulders, whatever parts of your rib cage and pelvis, glutes, and feet are on the ground. Good. Do a little bit of our eye stuff. So we'll keep the head still, and you're just going to take your eyes and look all the way up towards like your forehead without moving your head. And then look down towards your chin without moving the head. And just go back and forth like that a few times and just see what it feels like. It might be subtle in terms of sensation, but it's like an exercise for the eyes, which can be really helpful. And then see if you can take your eyes and look to the right and then to the left. And for this one specifically, I like to look for an object to your right. So I could say like, okay, I see my door, and then I see the computer. And I go door to the right, computer to the left, but don't let your head move. Stay in contact with whatever parts of your head you feel on the ground, keep them there. And then see if you can start to move your eyeballs in a slow, rather controlled circle all around your entire eye socket. Try not to bypass any spots, right? So it's like tempting to speed it up and just like go really fast, but see if you can like move your eyes through, I guess what you'd call a full range of motion, and then go in both directions. And it might be tempting to like move your head as you do it, but don't move your head. Just the eyes are moving. And see what you can see in the room with just moving your eyeballs. And we're not really counting, but just make sure you switch directions. Good. And then just maybe blink the eyes a few times, drop the head back and forth. Okay. They might even feel like a low grade tiredness, right? Just a little bit. And then you can stick your block or your roller under the hips. We'll reach the legs up and we'll gently rock from side to side. We'll let's do left foot pulls towards you. So you're flexing your left ankle and point your right toes away from you. And see if you can hug your right toes together, like almost like you're trying to hold on to like a marble with your toes. And you're doing the opposite with your left. Spread the toes and pull them towards you, and then switch. Yep. And now pause at each one to like really emphasize. And don't do it so hard that anything cramps. But you're really hugging one and scrunching kind of, and you're really spreading the other and trying to pull the toes towards the face. Good. Yeah, we're just alternating. Good. And then relax the ankles and think of the bottoms of the feet turning in and the bottoms of the feet turning out. So the movement's coming from the ankle. The movement's coming from the ankle. Yep. It's like your big toes come towards each other, your big toes move far away from each other. Okay. So that was ankle. Now bend the knees, and this is tibia. So this is, you could even put your fingertips like right on the inside part of your knee, and there's a bone there that is supposed to move. And you try to, now I would say the same cue. My big toes move in towards each other, my big toes move away from each other. But now it's not coming from my ankles and it's not coming from my hip. It's coming from kind of like that bone that attaches to the knee. And it just, that lower limb turns in, turns out. Yours might move, it might not. You might be a little confused. That's okay. Give it a whirl. Just give it your best shot. See if you can get those bones to move a little bit in and out. So then we did the lower limb, and now we'll do the hips. So we'll just do some hip circles. Okay. So one's going clockwise, one's going counterclockwise. You can make them as big or as small as you want. Like, bigger isn't always better. Sometimes it's nice to just do a really small one, but if you want an inner thigh stretch or it feels good, go for bigger, or maybe a mix. I tend to go for a mix. Okay. And then we'll do both directions. And then take a few moments to try to move your hips or in any angle that you could possibly think of. So if you had like colored pencils on your toes, you're just kind of drawing something in space. You can cross, you can lift, lower, you can bicycle, you can figure four. You can just kind of like move them around, like just any angle. Yeah, you can think of letting one go towards the ground. You can open, close, turn the hips in and out. And then we'll bring the feet down, slide your object out, and then see if there's any other shape, position, adjustment, stretch that would feel really nice to you, help your practice feel complete. Whether you want to circle the wrist or even just like full body stretch can feel really nice. And then invite your body to get heavier and softer, start to melt into your mat. You can relax your hands either on the body or off the body. Soften the eyes, the muscles in the face. Letting everything get heavier, softer, more relaxed. Taking a few moments to just be here. And we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes, gently rock the head side to side, draw the knees in, roll around a little bit. And we'll roll over to one side and we'll reach up, bring the palms together down through heart center. We'll bow forward in gratitude for practicing together this morning. Great job. Let me know if anyone has questions on anything. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jenna.
Jenna.
Thanks.